Hola mis amigos and possible amigos, my name is Taffrey16 and welcome back to another episode of Reading Your Comments, episode 167. It's another Supersized edition this week. I did not expect to do another Supersized edition so quickly, especially since I did the last one just a couple weeks ago. My excuse this time is at the time I was supposed to be recording this last week is when I found out all the Only Fools reactions have been nuked. Update on that, by the way, about half of them have been restored. Thank you so much to some of the people who have had copies of them and given them back to me, because some of those would have been a pain in the ass. Like, somebody had a copy of Miami Twice. Thank God they did, because that was going to be the most... I was going to save that for last, honestly, because that was going to be a real pain in the ass. So about half of them have been restored. I'm hoping to have the rest of them restored before the month ends. But I found out about that, and I was working to get a couple of those done, and by the time I had recorded the first two, I was like, oh shit, I never made Reading Your Comments. Oh shit, I never made a review video either. And I'm like, well, the review video is going to take me all night, so I guess I'm pushing Reading Your Comments till next week. So that's why we're doing another Supersized edition this week. And it should be the last one for a long time, hopefully. Hopefully, we'll see. But anyway, it is Sunday or maybe Saturday if you're watching this a day early on Patreon. For those of you who don't know, the Patrons have the option to watch these videos as well as Reading Your Comments up to a day early, and your name is in the description as well. But regardless of what day you were watching this on, let's go ahead and read some comments. It's funny you say Saffron isn't a good name for a human child as a popular British YouTuber called Saffron Barker. Well, as long as they're happy with their name, that's all that matters. Speaking of life on Mars, would you live on Mars if it was possible? I mean, we might have to in the future with how much we've destroyed this fucking planet, but hopefully I'm not around to see that, but we'll see. I remember watching The Real Hustle when I was sick off school. A lovely way to spend my time learning how to commit fraud. I gotta say, those type of shows are the best. Just the daytime television shows when you're sick off school. I used to watch Maury, which is like Jerry Springer, except it's not. And just, holy shit, what a way to rot your brain throughout the day. That's one thing to remember. If you're gonna scam people, make sure you avoid jail. Aha, unless you're going to jail to scam people in the jail. How random, I forgot all about the show until the other day when it popped into my head. Now I see you've uploaded a reaction to it. It'd be like that sometimes, honestly. Rob is convinced that there's somebody at the BBC that watches my videos, because it seems like every time I do a reaction to a BBC show I haven't seen before, it magically appears on iPlayer like the very next week. So does this mean you're going to do a reaction to the Hustle TV show in the future, then? Yes, actually. There's at least 2 episodes on my channel points request list, so that'll happen. I don't know if I can get that one on YouTube, though. If The Real Hustle did use paid actors, they were probably during the bar scenes. They were cringe even back then. Man, I really hope that guy in that bar scene in the episode I watched was a paid actor. I felt bad for the dude. He thought he was in, and he was not in. Do you prefer British TV opposed to American? You know, yes and no. I feel like both British and American TV have aspects which they excel at. You know, like I feel like British TV excels at comedy, while American TV excels more at drama. Not to say American shows, there aren't any good American comedy shows, or not to say there aren't any good British drama shows, but I feel like you both excel at different aspects. Four Lions the film is a must. You know, I feel like that's the kind of movie I'll actually do a reaction to, because most times when I do movies, I do them on my movie review channel. And if you're not subscribed to that, it's Taffrey16 Reviews. It's in the description down below. I'd appreciate it if you did. I do movie reviews every Sunday. They come out the same day as these videos, about 2 hours after this video. So the next movie review will be released 2 hours after this video's out. So if you're watching this when it's out, when this video's out, then it'll come out soon. If you're watching this like later in the day, then the movie review is probably already out. But the point is, I usually do movie reviews over there. This, though, Four Lions is probably something I do a reaction to. And speaking of that, for those of you who didn't watch the monthly plans, my oldest current channel points request is Snatch, which is a full movie, and we'll be doing that on this channel before the month ends. I don't know what platform, probably VO. I doubt I can get that on Dailymotion, but one way or another we will. Ah yes, the Gusher from Jam. Disturbing, and agree with your choice not to put it on here. You know, it's not that I didn't want to, it's just I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't without censoring the shit out of it, so I'm like, yeah, I might as well just cut the whole thing. Life on Mars is such a great series, Noah. So glad you watched all of it. Can't wait for you to watch Ashes to Ashes. You do get more answers about who Gene Hunt is and what he represents and where they all are. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's funny. I said America has, earlier, I said America has the advantage in drama shows. Again, not to say the UK can't make good drama shows. I think Life on Mars is an example of that. It was a fucking great show. And I don't know when I'm going to start with Ashes to Ashes. It could be next month. It could be a couple months after. We're gonna do it one way or another though, and that'll probably be, when I do Ashes to Ashes, that'll probably be from the get-go 2 episodes. Like, I'm not gonna start with singular episodes. That'll probably be 2 episodes per release from the get-go. Chris saying I don't want to be a policeman anymore just reminded me of the Father Ted episode Speed Free where Dougal says I don't want to be a milkman anymore. You know, I don't, whoever the actor was for Chris, I said this a lot in the earlier episodes when I reacted to Life on Mars, but man, he looks a lot like Andy Samberg. I enjoyed the US remake of Life on Mars until the last episode. I think they had to wrap it up because they knew they weren't getting another series. You know, I've heard this. I've heard that it was a good show, but it ended on a weird way. I wonder if that'd be worth watching. I don't know if I'd watch it on here, to be honest, but maybe in my spare time, because I'm kind of curious. Years after The Young Ones, Ade Edmondson starred in a comedy called If You See God Tell Him with The Good Life's Richard Breers. It's written by the same writer as One Foot in the Grave and full of very dark humor. You'd love it. I think I would like that, actually. And it's funny, during Vivian's rant, at the end, I think Mike said, let's hope they don't see this. Well, he ended up in the show of Richard Breers, so I guess they did see it. Please Do Bottom. It has 3 series and was super popular in the UK in the 90s. It stars Rick and Vivian. I did do 3 episodes of it, albeit, though, a very, very long time ago. It has been a decently long while since the last one. Actually, let me see. The last time I did Bottom, yeah, was October 2020, so maybe we're doing another one. Did you do The Good Life? You know, it's funny, at the time you wrote this comment, I didn't, but I have now. Just saying I love Singer, just rolling everywhere and hitting robots with generally no effect. Yeah, he didn't do much, but at least he was unique. Think you're being kind of harsh on Stinger? Got multiple hits on Bulldog Breed, including slicing it down the side. I don't think I'm being harsh on it at all. Listen, it's powerful. I'll give it that. When it fucking connects with that thing, it really does damage. It's just a matter of it connecting, and 95% of the time, it doesn't hit shit. Andrew Sachs, who was a child, fled Nazis before the war. Really? I didn't know that. Suffered pretty bad burns from the chemicals used in his jacket in the fire scenes in Fawlty Tower. I mean, it seems like a lot of people got fucked up during that show. The scene with the Major at the cricket is pretty jarring, but as with the whole episode, it's satirizing intolerance along with a national obsession with World War II, something that continues to this day, see the current Prime Minister. From the outright racism of the Major to things like Basil physically jumping back when meeting Sybil's doctor, it's extremely and hysterically well done. Of course, as with the characters like Alf Garnett, there will be those that don't get the overarching joke and laugh with them rather than at them. Yeah, I get you. And you know, it's funny. I feel like some people misunderstood the reasons why I censored the Major's racist rant in Fawlty Towers. It wasn't necessarily because some people have said about I haven't censored certain slurs in other shows, and people are like, oh, but you said you're gonna censor slurs. I don't think you get it, so allow me to understand. I'm not doing it because I care about censorship. I'm doing it because I care about me. You want me to be honest? I'll be fucking honest. I'm doing it because I care about me, and me might get in trouble if I put that word on a platform. I have censored it for me. That's why I did it. You want the honest answer? That's it. I did it for me. I didn't do it because of censorship or anything else. I did it for me. Because I'm not trying to get banned off that fucking website. So, if that word ever comes up in the future, I will censor it for that reason. Yes, you did. You invaded Poland, you know? Out of every line in that episode, that was the one that got me the most. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's just so fucking offensive. But just say that to his face. That was the best line, in my opinion. Looking forward to double monthly series 2 of Fawlty Towers. Yeah, again, for those of you who don't know about that, I'm going to do the 2 episodes per release thing for Fawlty Towers starting with next month. So we should finish it by June, because April will be 7 and 8, and then 9 and 10 in May, and then 11 and 12 in June. When England beat Germany 5-1 in the World Cup qualifier in 2001, the headline on the front page of the News of the World the next day was, "Don't mention the score." Oh man, I can only imagine the epiphany the person who came up with that headline had. They're like, my god, I've had the greatest idea of my entire life. You morphing into a hippie? Well, Yes. The first episode of The Good Life is basically a necessary setup for the rest of the series, so the following episodes are much more what it's about. Plus, we actually get to see Margot. You know, I do think maybe I was a bit harsh on the first episode of The Good Life in hindsight. I think I was more just jarred by how different it was, because having watched a lot of UK shows at this point, I'm definitely not used to them being like that, you know, like that happy. So I think it just threw me off a bit, to be honest. But yeah, usually first episodes of shows a lot of times aren't very good because there's a lot of setup necessary. Margot, Jerry's snobby wife next door, makes for hilarious viewing. Would like to see you watch some more. I might just. And do we actually get to see her? The way they were setting her up, I thought that was going to be her gimmick, where we don't see her, but she just talks through the window. But I've heard from some comments that apparently she might be the best character in the show. So yeah, maybe we will do more. I don't know if I can get it on YouTube going forward, to be honest. I have no earthly idea, but maybe we'll find out. This was Paul Eddington's breakout role, which led him to being cast for Yes Minister, which you've reacted to on the channel. That was so fucking long ago, I forgot I even did it, to be honest with you. Like, Jesus Christ, when was that? Yes Minister? September of 2020, my lord. A Royal Command performance is just that, a performance commanded by royalty. Oh, fair enough. It's not quite as despotic as that, though. In this case, the BBC invited the Queen to attend a show recording for her Silver Jubilee and asked what her favorite show was. They were told it was The Good Life, and although it was no longer running, they commissioned a special episode for her to attend. When she did actually turn up, she didn't know who Felicity Kendall was, which you'd think a Good Life fan would, so maybe the whole thing was some joke by a butler or something. Damn, imagine being Felicity Kendall, being all excited, thinking the Queen's, you've been in the Queen's favorite show, and then she has no clue who you fucking are. If the dislike button still exists, Vivian would be the one to dislike it because of that show. Well, I mean, technically it still exists, it's just completely useless. You have to react to the movie Team America and Orgasmo. I've seen Team America many times in the past. They used to show it on Comedy Central at 2 in the morning all the time. Orgasmo I've never seen, although it's funny you mention that because I actually got a channel points request for it, and I'm going to be doing it on the movie review channel possibly next month. It's my 40th birthday tomorrow. Not sure if I will quit work though and start a home farm. Too much effort? Yeah, maybe just go to a petting zoo instead. Oh, and happy birthday. I asked for this last year, so it shows you don't read comments if this show wasn't on your radar. One second. Hola mis amigos and possible amigas, my name is Taff316 and welcome to episode 167 of Reading Your Comments. But legitimately, if you think that I don't read comments because I didn't store a single comment that you made in my brain from last year, you probably have main character syndrome and you need to get over yourself. The Benidorm episodes I'd recommend as a double would be the season 2 finale and then a special episode that comes between season 2 and 3. This is really a continuation of the second part of the finale. Okay, that's actually pretty good advice. Thank you. I will try to remember that. Series 2 episodes of Benidorm don't miss, do they? No. I mean, honestly, it's been a very good go so far, but I'm not necessarily surprised because ever since I started Benidorm, people have pushed to me that 2 and 3 are like the peak of the show. Been wondering why the headband? Pretty simple. I've decided I don't want to cut my hair, but every time I've decided that in the past, I've ended up cutting my hair because it gets in my eyes. So I'm like, don't want to cut hair, do not want head and eyes. If only there was invention that prevented this thing. Ah yes, headband. I will buy multiple headbands. Just had a Comic-Con in Aberdeen at the weekend. It had some of the Gladiators and some of the cast from Still Game there. Seemed quite random choices for a Comic-Con, but apparently went very well. That is very random choices for a Comic-Con. But that sounds like a great Comic-Con, honestly. I'd go to that. Poor Catherine, that zipline landing was a cherry on top of a shit Sunday. That was, again, the most interesting heat of Gladiators I've seen so far, just because you had the best competitor and the worst competitor. It was Chris, I believe, just absolutely killed everything. Like, he was doing an awesome job. And then poor Catherine, like, she couldn't get nothing going, man. Shadow was sacked early for steroids, and Warrior was a known gangster in my city of Liverpool and was associated with the richest UK gangster at the time, Curtis Warden. Really? I knew that about Shadow. Shadow's actually in jail right now. He actually was convicted like a couple months ago on kidnapping charges, so he got 6 years. But I did not know that about Warrior. That's pretty crazy. You keep saying Ori ka ka ka, so we can have some shooting stars perhaps. Proper ones of Mark Lamar, maybe some Buzzcocks with him too. Buzzcocks would have to go on Daily Motion. The reason I've had an episode on YouTube before, but it was literally the one episode that you could put on YouTube, probably because they didn't want to waste time blocking anything with Jedward in it. But as far as shooting stars goes, I don't remember anything about that show except for that. The Orica is the only fucking thing I remember about that show. So, yeah, maybe I should do more of it. The 90s, when steroids ruled the world. They did in sports, at least. I mean, sports and athletic competitions, like professional wrestling was all hyped up, you know, fucking... they had that big trial where McMahon almost went to prison and all that. You had, I'm sure, UFC was definitely, had just barely started up in the late 90s, but there's a lot of steroids involved. Baseball had its golden age in the 90s because of the home run race, because of steroids. So, yeah, 90s, yeah, that was steroid heaven right there. So happy to see you've reacted to more of Inside Number 9. I am as well. It had been a while. I was looking at the top of my request list on my channel points, and I'm like, okay, I want to do something that is high up this list, but I was somewhat short on time at the moment, so I'm like, I need something that's like 25 minutes. I can't be doing like an hour-long thing right now. And I saw Inside Number 9. I'm like, oh shit, how have I not done this? Also, on a somewhat related note to Inside Number 9, it's entirely possible that the Black Mirror reaction I did back in December to White Christmas, I could be re-uploading to YouTube. It is one of those claims that it's just a sole Channel 4 claim, and sometimes Channel 4 are forgetful and will not remember to respond to a claim. So if they forget about me for another week, then next week I'll be re-uploading that Black Mirror episode to YouTube. Inside Number 9 was so good and yet never gained an audience. No one in the US even knows it exists, but Black Mirror blew up and somehow this didn't. I think the BBC just didn't do enough to promote it, and that's why, because plenty of BBC shows are popular in the US, like the UK show Utopia was good until 2013, but nobody talked about it until Amazon remade the show, and that version sucks. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, Black Mirror also might have gotten lucky with the Netflix deal as well. I mean, if Inside Number 9 had gotten some kind of US streaming service, I'm sure maybe it would have done better. But it is a shame because, I mean, on all accounts, it seems to be on about equal level. And yeah, it's basically, I mean, yeah, I've told people, you know, people who are American about Inside Number 9. They're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's like Black Mirror. And they're like, oh yeah, Black Mirror. Oh, yeah. So I mean, everyone here knows about Black Mirror, but yeah, you know, it's a shame too, because I mean, I think if Inside Number 9 ever got the right traction here, I think it would really take off. Hope Inside Number 9 becomes more regular. You know, I think it'll be more regular than it was. I don't think it'll be another 15 months before I do another episode. But I don't know if it's something I should do monthly. I feel like it's something that would, especially considering it usually has a twist, I feel like it's something that would benefit from being spread out a little bit. So maybe one like every 2 or 3 months, maybe. You know, you're posting at 7 a.m. and not 8 a.m., right? Yes, I don't know if I ever mentioned, but the US had their daylight savings a week ago. I think your guys's are not till the next week. So this past week, that's why I've been posting at 7 instead of 8, and that'll continue for this week. Although, come a couple years from now, it might be 7 a.m. instead of 8 for a whole half year, because the US might very well be getting rid of daylight saving time. A tranny is a transistor radio. Ah, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Because when he said, like, did you get your tranny? I was like, what? When Greg and Ford were asked in the interview what happened to Tam's baby in Still Game, they insisted that the baby never existed and the interviewer was imagining things. I think they simply didn't want the hassle of always having to explain where the baby was anytime Tam was in the scene. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's what I assumed, that they just retconned it because they're like, you know, that this probably isn't going to work, and we're starting a new show. It's basically a new show. It's been 9 years. We might as well just, you know, pretend it didn't happen. And plus, the baby came in, like, real late during the original run, too, didn't it? So It was established, but like it's not like it had any massive established storylines aside from that episode I just watched. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for another supersized episode of Reading Your Comments. The comments in the video were pulled from the following videos. You ready? Reading Your Comments 166, American Reacts to The Real Hustle, American Reacts to Jam by Chris Morris 2, American Reacts to Life on Mars 16, The Young Ones 5, Robot Wars 10, Fawlty Towers 6, The Good Life, Benidorm 10, UK Gladiators 4, Inside Number 9 3, and Still Game Number 19. Technically, this should have included comments from Only Fools 15 as well, but that video is not currently available, so that's why I didn't put those in this. Again, should have that restored by the end of the month, though. If you want a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Read Your Comments, you can comment on the following videos. My reaction to Garth Marenghi's I almost said Night Place. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, which came out yesterday. The reaction video that comes out tomorrow, which will be outnumbered. Spoiler. The one that comes out on Tuesday, the one that comes out on Wednesday, and the one that comes out on Thursday. And Friday, actually. Those are the videos to comment on if you want a chance to get your comment read in next week's episode of Reading Your Comments. But that is going to do it for another Supersized edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like it. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links, my Twitch, where I stream every single day, my second channel for instant views, my Twitter, if you want to follow me on my Patreon, if you want to support me, or my Daily Motion, all those things are in the description down below. Thank you to all, as I'm currently recording 112 of my Patreons, so you can support me and my channel. For those of you who don't know, you can be a patron on me for as little as $1 or £1, and you get access to the reaction videos, those are reading comments up to a day early, and you get your name in the description as well. Also, in the description is linked to the community Reddit, as well as the daily schedule, as well as the Twitch Files channel. With all that being said, though, my name is Taff16. It's been another episode of Reading Your Comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.